What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're going to be going over the best plays for tonight's 5-game NBA slate. It is January 1st, 2026, so Happy New Year to everybody watching. If you're new to the channel, if you could please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, that would be absolutely amazing. If you could throw a like on this video as well, that would be pretty cool. Hopefully you guys do enjoy this video. I'm going to be giving $50 away if this video does get 50 likes on our next video. So to be entered into that giveaway, all you have to do is subscribe and hit the like button. Pretty simple. And then if you want to, turn on that notification bell. So whenever I post these daily videos, these PrizePicks slip videos, you guys can get all of the plays locked in the slip before anything gets bumped or removed. Throughout the duration of this video, we're going to be building a 6-flex slip over on PrizePicks again for the 5-game NBA slate for tonight. Let's go ahead and quickly talk about how we did in our most recent video. Our two prior videos, we had gone 4 for 6. We're chasing that 6 for 6 25 times payout like we had on Christmas. Last night was not it. We went 3 for 6, so unfortunately no money back here. We had Robert Williams over 5.5 rebounds, finished with 8. We had Brunson under 10.5 RA, finished with 12. Curry over 8.5 RA, finished with 6. We had Podziemski under 7.5 RA, finished with 6. That was our little game stack here. Sarr over 7.5 rebounds, finished with 11. Jamal Murray over 7.5 assists, finished with 6. So not what we're looking for. Obviously, the main goal here is to build out profitable slips. Now, it's important to remember that what I do, it's called positive EV betting or plus EV betting. And the whole purpose of that is using a tool, a line shopping tool, to help me find value on certain DFS apps that use fixed payouts and then also sports books that I play on. So where we want to obviously go 6 for 6 in the slip, it's more important to note that having a tool like this, we have all these small player props on different fixed payout platforms that have edges, right? Where we're getting an edge over that specific app. The whole purpose of plus EV betting is volume and getting as many slips down as you possibly can. So in this video, we're building out one 6-flex slip where we're trying to 25 times our money. The whole purpose of this type of betting is to play as many of these player props that you have a slight edge. Enter them in as many slips as you possibly can over on whatever DFS app you're playing. So on PrizePicks, the 3 best slip types are 6-flex, 5-flex, and 3-man power. Take all these small edges, put them into slips, enter as many slips throughout the day as you possibly can where you have a player prop where you're getting an edge. Compound those small edges into volume, and that is how you put yourself in the best position to profit long-term when playing on a DFS app that uses fixed payouts or a sports book. So yeah, the video from yesterday ended up going 3 for 6, which obviously sucks. We want to 25 times our money with every single slip that we're building, but I had this slip over on pick 6 that I turned 150 into 1,500. There are multiple users that are using the Upside Tool Fantasy Player Prop Optimizer that are building out 5-flex slips over on PrizePicks, turning $5 into 50. Steven did it twice. We got Matt over here posting free plays, turning, whatever it was that he entered on this 6-man or this 3-man 6 times payout. So the whole purpose of this video is to build out a slip, but the whole purpose of plus EV betting is to play as many slips as you possibly can. So with that being said, let's go ahead and jump over to the 5-game matchups that we have for today's slate. Let's go ahead and talk about them, and then we'll head back over to PrizePicks. We're going to update the player prop optimizer. We're going to find the best value. We're going to build out a 6-flex slip, and hopefully we can go 6 for 6 and 25 times our money. We have the Celtics traveling to Sacramento to play the Kings. Celtics 9.5-point road favorites, a 227.5 over under. We have Houston traveling to Brooklyn to play the Nets. We got the Nets Houston 11.5-point road favorites, 218.5 over under. We have the Pistons hosting the Heat. Detroit at home, 4.5-point favorites, 236.5 over under. We have the Mavericks and the 76ers. 76ers 2.5-point road favorites, 230.5 over under. And then we have the Clippers and the Jazz. Clippers at home, 12.5-point favorites, 232.5 over under. So one thing that I typically do is I always look at the injury news, right? The injury report to see who's questionable, who's playing, everything like that, because that can obviously affect some of these player props. Now, the reason that I utilize a tool like a line shopping tool, so the Fantasy Player Props Optimizer, the whole purpose, again, is to compare sportsbook lines and odds directly back to fixed payout platforms. Now, these sharp sports books, specifically FanDuel and DraftKings, take everything into consideration when it comes to setting their lines and odds for player props. So we have guys that are questionable here for Philly. Obviously, Embiid's questionable every single day. We have Capella. We have Eason, Sengun, like two really, really major players there for Houston. And, well, Sengun more importantly, but then, Steven Adams has been starting. Eason just started last game. So we have some really important players here. Michael Porter, obviously, for Brooklyn, their best player statistically. Tyler Hero's out over in Miami still. So there are significant players across the board that are questionable, that are ruled out. Everything you can possibly think of when it comes to that is baked into these sportsbook lines and odds. So injuries, matchups, odds for the the spreads, the totals, minutes limits, minute restrictions, different starters that are starting for specific guys that are out. Everything is baked into these sportsbook lines and odds. So that is why we use this tool to help us show the value on these fixed payout platforms like PrizePicks, because PrizePicks, again, fixed payouts. It doesn't matter if we take more or less on any of these player projections, our payout always remains the same. So over on PrizePicks in a two-man power, we get a 3 times payout, right? If I have Claxton and Marshall both more points, I can change them both to less. I can change one to less, one to more. I still get that 3 times payout, okay? So that means each individual leg inside this specific slip type is minus 137 odds. So that's why when I make these videos, I create 6 flexes, because each individual leg inside my 6 flex is equivalent to minus 118 odds. So our break-even win rate when we're playing on PrizePicks, if you're entering two-man powers, you need to hit each individual player prop in the long term, if you're just playing two-man powers, at a 57.8% clip. In a 6 flex, you only need to hit them at a 54.2% clip. So this tool shows you the fair odds for each individual leg. And again, we can see what the actual fair value is by comparing the sportsbook lines and odds back to PrizePicks. Now, one important note when it comes to this tool is I take into consideration heavily FanDuel and DraftKings. So that's why I'm okay with going under the actual threshold that we're looking for. Now, we have other tools here, specifically under our Sportsbook tab. We have our Game Lines Optimizer. And here on the Game Lines Optimizer, you can actually change your fair value model to sharp books only. You can do Pinnacle only. Pinnacle, when it comes to game lines, is one of the sharpest with their game lines, totals, etc. Over on the Player Props Optimizer, that is coming as well. So for now, I just make sure I have FanDuel as a required sportsbook. And then obviously we're going to change the NBA, but we can see that there's been some value that's been adjusted. But if we just take into consideration FanDuel and DraftKings, a lot of these percent odds to hit are going to be higher. So basically all I'm saying is that feature's coming here to this specific tool. But yeah, so that's why I'm over here trying to help you guys build out long-term profitable slips instead of just hammering you with stupid goblins and demons and two-man powers, because that's not how you profit long-term. Again, we hit it 25 times on Christmas. So in hindsight, we can build out 23 6 flex slips and go 0 for 6 on all of those. And if we started doing these videos on Christmas and we hit that 25 times, we're still profitable. So that's the good thing about those 6 flexes. Our ROI, obviously, the return that we're getting when we go 6 for 6 is massive, 25 times. We also get a 2 times if we go 5 for 6 and a 0.4 times if we go 4 for 6. Those add up. Anyways, let's go back to the board. I'm going to go back to the optimizer. We can see some of these plays adjusted. Unfortunately, we missed out on some value. We're going to start with Peyton Pritchard under PRA. So I'm skipping over Sensabaugh, and I'll tell you why. Sensabaugh right now is set to, actually, no, we're going to take Sensabaugh. We're actually going to take Bryce Sensabaugh under 16 points. FanDuel set to 16.5, so 0.5 higher than where we're getting it on PrizePicks, but they're minus 136 on the under, so heavy juice. We can see the rest of these sports books, though, and all of these DFS apps, too. Underdog, Dabble, Pick 6, Better, are also 0.5 lower. DraftKings, minus 111 on the under. So essentially the near even line, no juice really on either side. Maybe a little bit of juice on the over 15.5. But again, we're getting it at 16 on PrizePicks. So we're going to add in Bryce Sensabaugh. So we're getting good value is what I'm getting at. We're going to add in Sensabaugh under 16 points. For now, because we only have 5 games and we do have some minimal value, I'm also going to add in Peyton Pritchard under 28 PRA. I typically don't like to have too many push props. And one cool filter here that we have also on the optimizer, hide push prop. I could do this. And then obviously you'll see Sensabaugh and Pritchard, Cooper Flag, those obviously are no longer populating because those are push props or even props. We'll trigger that off for now. But yeah, Pritchard under 28 PRA. Again, set 0.5 lower across the board outside of Novig, and Novig has minus 140 juice on the under 28.5, so heavily juiced. But, FanDuel, DraftKings, both 0.5 lower, minus 112 on the under. Maybe slight juice on the over, but really good value knowing that we're getting this 0.5 higher on PrizePicks. So we'll start with these two push props. We got Sensabaugh under points. We have Peyton Pritchard under PRA, which I think I just went past. Why are these populating with their combined props with Russell Westbrook? There we go. I am done. Moving on down the list. We're going to skip now. What we're going to do, we're going to hide push props. We don't want too many. And we'll give this a quick refresh. Batum under 3.5 boards. Again, you guys can see what the odds are currently setting. Getting this 53% chance to hit. Batum under 3.5 boards. Moving on down the line. We got Dennis Schroeder under 19.5 PRA. FanDuel one lower at 18.5, so good value here. Underdog one lower also at 18.5. Dabble at 19, so good value here over on Dennis Schroeder under 19.5 PRA. Eason under 12.5 points, minus 132 over on FanDuel. One lower on DraftKings at 11.5. Same with Caesars, same with Hard Rock, same with Sleeper. And again, this tool is just showing us the best value in real time. So we got Eason under points. He's also questionable. Hopefully he plays. I didn't copy it, so I'm dumb. Eason under points, 12.5. And then the last play was going to be Embiid over assists. Again, hopefully Embiid plays also. We do have a couple guys that are questionable. I think Embiid was likely to play. Refresh, make sure we're not missing anything. Okay, so we actually had a better play pop up besides Embiid. We're going to take Bam over 8.5 rebounds. Minus 136 on the over, one higher over on DraftKings as well. So I like that more than Embiid. We'll take out Embiid. We'll take Bam out of bio. We'll take his over 8.5 rebounds. And there we go. Just like that, I used a tool, a line shopping tool, to help me find the best value on PrizePicks at the point in which I'm recording this video. So after I post this video, I'm going to go build out a ton more slips because there's going to be new value. Odds are going to fluctuate throughout the day. Player props will be added. Player props will be removed. Player props will be bumped. This thing updates every single second to make sure our users are getting the most updated and best value that they possibly can have. So for now, for this video, again, I want to go 6 for 6. I want to 25 times our money, but I want to preach that it's important if you do have a tool like this to get as much volume down as you possibly can. And if you guys want to sign up with Upside and get 25% off your first purchase, you can use my code TJYT. There's also a link in the description below that will get you a 5-day free trial. So 5 days free. You can cancel at any point before getting charged within that 5 days. We have our player props optimizer, our esports discrepancy tool. We have sportsbook tools for game lines, for player props, low hold tool, arbitrage. So a lot of different tools here, a lot of things that we're working on getting added as well. But for this PrizePicks video and this slip, we have Sensabaugh under 16 points, Peyton Pritchard under 28 PRA, Batum under 3.5 boards, Dennis Schroeder under 19.5 PRA, Eason under 12.5 points, and Bam Adebayo over 8.5 rebounds. And as we can see, 6 for 6, we 25 times our money. 5 for 6, we 2 times our money. 4 for 6, we 0.4 times our money. Guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you took something from my rambling. Again, I like to try to throw some education your way. Not every single video that I'm going to post is going to be in-depth analysis with fundamental analysis on last 5, last 10. I don't have to worry about that. Trusting the sportsbook makers, their $1 million models, the lines and odds that they're setting. I'd rather utilize that than gut feeling because that is how you profit long term. So if you did like this video, please hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet. And again, turn on that notification bell. So when I post this, you get notified. You can lock in the best possible slip on PrizePicks right now. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the support. And I'll see you on the next video.